How long gone? God's Day, Jason's Sunday. Ben Shelton just lost a first set tiebreaker to Carlos Alcaraz in Paris. It was real heartbreaker.
Okay, so Ben just lost to Alcaraz.
No, he lost the first set, but they were tied. I mean, it was a tiebreaker, so it was like his to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yes. This is over at Roland Garros.
Yeah, but he keeps diving and getting his white on kit dirty, but then changing, which I know a lot of these guys do because they get so sweaty, but I would want to keep the blood and guts on me to intimidate my opponent.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, is that a thing where the brand requests that you do that you change it into a crispy white?
No, I think these guys, they change clothes pretty often and shoes and shit because I think they're just sweating so much.
Sure.
But
because they're just so wet.
They're so wet. You don't want bloody nipples on the court, that would be...
Is that a thing that happens to people? Do they get bloody nipples on the tennis court?
No, it only happens. I've only seen it with running.
That only happens with the half marathon runners out there, right?
Yeah, the 13.1s will get a little blood on the nipple. When I was running a lot, I did go through a phase of having to buy some Runner's World nipple covers. It sucked.
Runner's World nipple covers. Yeah,
sucks. Because it hurts. It sucks.
Chafing, and also it gets in your head when you're out there on your 13.1. It's just you and the road, and every single whoosh, you just really hyper focus in on it, right? That's why the good people over at Satisfy Running, they have that non-distracting mesh liner top thingy.
You're fine. You're good to go.
So I'm able to run without worrying. And are you able to put a price on that?
I don't think so. Maybe $200. But I don't think that. Yeah, we're getting to a point. Are you seeing all these advertisements for body deodorant for fat people, basically?
I saw a commercial yesterday for something called Mondo Mando.
Okay, is that it shows people applying deodorant basically to their entire body?
Yes. I think it's just you can put it out, you can put it all over. Which
we got to chill, dude.
Maybe is that a conspiracy to sell more deodorant? Just a simple square footage?
It could be. That I wouldn't put anything past
spray it everywhere, y'all.
I wouldn't put anything past the Unilever Corporation, but
sure.
I just don't feel like we got if you're chafing from daily life, then your problem isn't going to be solved with deodorant. That's what I can say.
We shan't knock it till we try it. There's a 50% chance that in 3 years we have our own endorsement deal for an all over body deodorant spray, and we can't let the tapes get discovered.
I don't think any of the all over body deodorants are going to be up to my sniff test. Yeah, I just don't.
This sounds like the opening line of our winning testimonial, Chris. Up until now, no all-over body spray was able to pass my Chris Black notable sniff test authoritarian figure until today.
It's gonna smell like Equinox locker room meets duty free. That's what everything smells like. If you go to Target,
as long as the smell is duty free, you feel me? Then I'm good. You know what I'm saying, bro?
I'm actually straight.
Okay, now that we have the important stuff out of the way, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of our new listeners who are listening to us right now, who have joined us from the Fox News comment section. Just wanted to say welcome to all of you guys who have thought about driving a car through a large gathering of people who have come to the rescue of Jake Tapper.
Shout out to everyone who asked for comment last week, and we didn't comment because there's nothing more to say about it.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy how the Fox News cycle they will squeeze a gallon out of one almond.
It's different. I will say it's different. The Fox News response is very different than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we love it. That's why we love
a lot of Twitter avatars. Twitter follow. They got 6 followers. They're coming to you live from a West Virginia concentration camp, and the avatar is an image of an old president from the 19th president, but his eyes are red because I don't know.
No, yes, dude, I know exactly what I think that might be something we both saw actually.
Probably, an AI enhanced Confederate president from sometime around the Civil War era. And we used Grok to make him buff as hell as well as sexy as hell.
He
probably gets all the chicks. But I just want to let you guys know out there, We are not necessarily a pussy woke podcast. We make fun of pronouns probably more than they do on Fox News, guys.
Yeah, but we do it with
sit down, weed through some of our
we do
talk.
it with love in our hearts. That's the thing. That's the big
That's
difference.
true.
But I also don't think not a single person that read about How Long Gone during Tappergate is going to listen to this podcast. I think that's the whole point, is that they don't take it that far because they disagree with it up front. So they're not going to waste their time listening to that shit.
Well, you know how I am, Chris. I like a challenge. I don't want it if it's that easy. So I want to convert. I want someone to say, "Hey, Jason Stewart, I am actively trying to kill you and your family because of what you said." And then an hour later, they're like, I listened to that one episode with the gay guy. That shit was funny as fuck, bro. I just bought a t-shirt and I'm going to come see you guys in DC.
I like that you have this positive outlook. I'm a little more, but I just want it to be over. Like, who cares? I mean, I saw him. Tapper was on Bill Maher on Friday with Barry Diller. It was a real 1-2 punch.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. How did Diller do? Diller, come on the pod.
Diller was pretty funny, actually.
Was he able to let his hair down now? You know what I'm saying?
He sounds gay, kind of.
Okay.
But I was talking to somebody on Friday night who had met him before, like years ago, and they were like, he's one of those guys that is ugly as fuck, but you want to have sex with him as soon as he starts talking. He's just like, the swag is powerful.
Please, I would like an example of this. This is a great character.
I just think that it's...
But I know the type.
Yeah, I think it's just like there's an unique sexiness to him that has nothing to do with his physical attributes.
Is it like when you see one of those like ugly, like a Mexican hairless dog, or just like some ugly as fuck pet, and you're like, who in the hell would want it? And then there's always going to be one hot ass chick who's going to be like, damn, I need to fuck him, just based off of the swagoo, I guess, right?
Just this. Well, in this case, it'd be men, but yes,
passes the sniff test. Oh yeah, I'm not talking about Beasty. Don't worry, Chris. I'm talking about the fellas. I had to use a pet.
Beasty.
Yeah, Gen Z is the hottest thing in Gen Z is they're calling it Beasty because they don't like the bestiality. Actually, speaking of Gen Z doesn't want to start a bar tab article on the New York Times. Another slow news week. I read that. You just sent it earlier this morning, and to me, so it was basically saying that like, here are all the reasons why young people are not starting a bar tab when they go to the bar. They have like commitment issues and fear of anxiety of not being able to flag down the bartender when it's time to close out.
So crazy.
Wanting to manage their spending, and they're able to keep track of the whatever. But to me, they failed to mention the one reason why a member of an elder millennial, why I never start a bar tab and leave my credit card behind the bar in a plastic box, is because I will get drunk and forget it, and I'll have to drive back to this stupid bar 3 days later on a Wednesday.
No one said that, correct? In that story, no one said because I'll get drunk and leave it, which is the classic reason to not do it.
The classic reason. And,
the number one reason.
And
not
the only
to do
reason why people have that reason is because it has happened to every single person I know. And if it happens to you 4 times, you're like, you know what? I'm never going to do this. So that's why when I go to a bar, I got this stuff called cash.
Funny you bring that up. I was out Friday night. No one would take my cash at a nightlife establishment. And I was like, that's what these are run on. What do you mean? Like, I'm at a bar. Like, I'm at literally like a club. How could you not take cash?
Yeah, I think we're post that. And I think, I guess when I was trying to think the last time I was out at a bar, I was doing this. It was last weekend. Friend of the show, Ian, had a birthday party at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, the famous kind of 80s hair metal establishment next to the Roxy Sunset Strip, known as Lemmy from Motorhead's second home, where he was getting BJs left and right. Also, unfortunately, home for Ron Jeremy doing 8 to 9 rapes. It's a legendary spot. Bad stuff has happened there, whatever. But it's a shitty butt rocker 80s hair metal bar. I go up to the bar. I'm like, my gay ass is getting a martini with a twist, maybe a skinny spicy for Carolyn. And that's kind of the way we do it. I walk up to the bar, Budweiser, full fat, and a shot of Jack. on the side. And I'm like, I'm just going to stick with that. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
That's twisted.
Well, I mean, no, it's the ultimate all-American 80. You know, if Slash,
I'm familiar with what kind of person drinks that nasty combo, and what I'm saying is you're not that person.
It's not a nasty combo. It's one of the most classic combos of all time. A Budweiser and a shot of Jack. That's like, you know, getting a pizza with a Coca-Cola. Or
you really
like
are.
that.
You really are pandering to the Fox News audience today. You sound like Kid Rock right now.
I didn't drink none of that goddamn Beaner beer.
Like
fucking bullshit.
Modelo, get the fuck out of here.
I was cosplaying as a Republican. I mean, I guess not.
No,
I don't know. The thing is, all these fucking racist Republican guys, they're drinking Michelob Ultra because their man titties are coming in.
You got to keep it tight. Yeah, you got to keep it tight.
Yeah, and they're drinking like something called like Stillwater Ranch, you know, whatever, like something with a canoe on it or something. None of these fucking cucked ass bitches are doing jack shots with the Budweiser. All that is to say, I don't want to hear the bartenders whining and complaining that these Gen Z people are opening and closing tabs, because I order a Budweiser and a shot of Jack, and it's like $27. Like a single bottle of Budweiser was like $12 or $13.
Yeah, of course. I'm not
but
surprised by that at all.
This is a shithole bar. This is not a cool.
But it's not a shithole bar. It's like a famous tourist attraction, though, kind of as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess the problem is, I bet you if I go to the Sunset Tower up the street, you know, elbow through the A-list celebrities of the world, one of the most expensive restaurants in the country, I guarantee the Budweiser will not be more. It'll probably be less or the same price as the Rainbow. So here's where the real issue is. I go, you know, I get my Budweiser and my shot of Jack. They put the little card reader down in front of me, and it's like, do you want to do 25%, 20, you know, whatever. So they're trying to do restaurant tipping on a bar. You know, I go to a bar, you hand me a bottle of Budweiser, I hand you a $1 bill back, maybe two if you're really nice. You know, that's just the way the game goes. And I don't want to tip you $8.93 for opening a Budweiser for me.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but bars tend to prey on drunk people. And I think that
I know it's just so distant. Like, you can't have it all. You can't whine and complain that these 23-year-old blue-haired they-thems are coming in here and they're afraid to start a tab because they're, you know, whatever. And then they're doing the same shit back to us. I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't want to leave the car. And they're like, no, trust me, it's fine. They don't care. They're like, we don't care that you have to open and close every time. They just hand me the card reader. I put my phone on top of it. I hit the button that says, no, I do not want to leave you a $9 tip on a Budweiser. And then the whole thing's done in 10 seconds. It's actually potentially faster than handing them cash and then having them go over and count out the change and blah, blah, blah.
Not taking cash at a bar is insane. That like feels sacrilegious to me. Because everyone I knew that worked as a bartender or owned a bar, the whole point was you had a surplus of cash that you didn't have to report to the federal government. That was the whole point.
Yeah. And I think those days are very numbered. Obviously, if you go to a bar, like a dive bar, like in a Wednesday video, or you go to some, you know, Lower East Side haunt where you're just sitting there and you're doing whatever. But if you're going to Jeans or you're going to whatever, we are in a post-cash society over there, bro.
I just don't know how that serves anyone, really. I guess none of those guys are coming. I mean, a 22-year-old NYU, you know, future banker is not going to the ATM before he hits the club. I guess that's the reality.
I
of the
would
situation.
say you and I are the last generation of people who are going to do that, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
But
I go to the
all
ATM.
of my friends who like go to bars, like actual real drink, you know, like people who have kids who like have a reason to like go get drunk.
Yeah.
I guarantee they haven't bought a drink with cash in 3 years.
I definitely not. They've opened a tab like an adult, but they have not paid in cash like an adult. And those are the two. Those are the two ways you can kind of come out on top. But it just seems, I guess those jobs have just changed. I guess prices have also gone up. You know, I feel like things used to be priced. Like when I started going out at MJQ, the undergrad, like the nightclub in Atlanta, it was all cash. for the entire time that this place existed for 2 decades. And when I started going out, a drink was $4. So you'd leave the dollar, so a $5 bill would cover, that's the whole thing. Like you said, that's that's the game. Yeah. But I mean, I think baristas fucked it up for all of us. Those motherfuckers, those tip requests are crazy too. And that's but arguably making my cortado more work than opening a beer and pouring a shot.
1,000%. There's making my cortado, there's 7 different things that could go right or wrong. You know what I mean? Opening a Budweiser, there's one thing that could go wrong. You drop it, you shatter the glass, or you hand it to me without it being shattered. That's it.
The Anheuser-Busch Corporation has done all the work for you.
AB took care of it all for you, sweetheart.
AB took care of it. I don't. Yesterday I went to.
Wait, actually, hold on. Can you hold on 1 second?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Someone's knocking.
Yeah, yesterday I went to Cafe Integral like usual, and the owner was there making drinks, and I was like, "Oh, did somebody die or something? Are you good?" And then,
what's his name again?
Cesar,
yes.
He's a little too good looking.
Yeah, I know him. Nice guy.
Latin lover type vibe. But I gotta say, when the owner makes it, shit hits a little different, and I bet he ain't practicing that much. But so he was nasty with the tamper.
Actually, speaking of the tamper, now that you are a owner of an espresso machine, what's the update on it? I feel like you've had it for over a month now, right?
I haven't used it one time. Not once. It looks nice,
bro?
though. It's just like everybody's told me that somebody has to come over and show me how to use it, because it's like just complicated enough where I will fuck it up and get frustrated and then just never use it again.
There's got to be a YouTube. There's got to be 78 YouTube.
I don't use that kind of shit. I can't. I need a human being. I just can't. I don't think I would be able to follow that very well. I'm being honest.
No,
I know that's what most people do. I know that's what most people do, but I think that that would make me even more frustrated trying to find a place to, balance my iPad in the kitchen to watch the YouTube video while I was grinding my beans.
This is something that I think about every once in a while, where some people are just really good at YouTubing things or going online and figuring out how to do something.
Yeah.
And you are proclaimedly not really that type of person. Like if there's an issue, whatever, a plumbing, electrical, some type of thing in your house, you're not going to be 4 hours deep into the Reddit threads. You're not going to be making multiple Home Depot runs.
And I respect that. I mean, I'm like
nothing against it.
No, I think it's really cool. I'm jealous. Like we went to Eric and Cassie's new house, and Eric had done like stonework. From just like learning, you know what I mean? It's like really impressive, and you can do shit like that too. I just don't like the thought of changing oil on a car makes me want to kill myself. Like anything where I just don't have that. I don't know what it is. I just don't have it in me. I don't think I have I don't know what the problem is.
One could argue if it's a problem or not. I think it's a little bit of there could be an ignorance is bliss type of thing where it's like my brain likes to go in this direction. It doesn't care about that direction, but I know 50 people that I can call if I need that, whatever it is. But
sure,
that specific issue is something I've been thinking about lately, of like how to train people, not how to use Google or YouTube or ChatGPT or whatever, not literally how to use it, but how to know when to use it.
Capital USE.
Like we all, like, how to Google something.
Yeah.
Your job is not going to be replaced by Google, but it could be replaced by somebody who is really good at using Google or AI or whatever it may be. And is it possible to train people to get into the habit of knowing exactly how to use it, or is that one of those things that's inertly in us?
I think both. But I think that it's like people I know who really are good at shopping on eBay. It's because they've like mastered keywords and saved searches, and it's just like takes practice like anything else. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that. I think that we use the internet the way that it best serves us naturally, and don't go beyond that really, because it's like, how deep can this go?
Yeah, and I guess there's some people who are. I mean, most people instinctively run away from the fire, and then some people run towards it.
Yeah.
Some people you're like, oh, I need to find this thing on eBay, And it's like, your search has yielded 1.8 million,
Results.
1.8 million results. And then some people are just like, close the MacBook. I want to go home, whatever. And then some people cracks knuckles.
Yeah, I'm getting in here. I mean, that's why vintage stores, that's why we all overpay happily at vintage stores, because the work is hard. Like, the work is hard. To go to somebody's, warehouse in Arkansas and dig for 6 hours in the heat is not, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather pay an extra $100 and get what I want.
I know that's right, Chris. Also, I wanted to, we were talking on the last episode about the restaurant Baby Bistro in Los Angeles.
Baby Billy Bistro, yeah.
Uncle Baby Billy Bistro. And actually, I was reading that the John Gregory Don Vegas memoir, and there's a character in it that I'm pretty sure Uncle Baby Billy is based off of.
That's not out of the question. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what Danny McBride has on his nightstand, is all I'm saying. And that book also is getting reissued as we speak. So that means Danny would have had to, hunt it down a little bit.
I found okay, there's a Vegas lounge act in the 70s, and his angle was that he was like a minister, like a preacher man, and his name is Brother JJ. Brother JJ, and here's a quote to sort of show you the Brother JJ female, or the Brother JJ energy. Okay, this is what it says. He peed generously, flexed his knees again, and re-zipped. I hate dribblers, he said. I like guys who really take a piss. Show me a guy who dribbles down the side of his pants, and I'll show you a loser. I'll show you a guy who 3-putts his way through life. You got to give it a good shake.
3-putts his way through life, I'm going to use.
There is nothing like a good piss. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I think that is a great character, and I do see the Baby Billy charges.
It's a cool thing. No, I was talking about Baby Bistro. Sorry. And I talked to the chef of the restaurant, Miles, and he said a bunch of people are hitting him up about it. But the font that we alleged was a font and not handwriting was actually a font created off of the original handwriting. The
all right,
graphic
Chief.
designer
Get
person.
get back in the kitchen and stop updating Jason on what the fucking font is. Okay, those beans ain't gonna cook themselves.
No, well, to be clear, the chef thought it was cool and funny, and he is nice and cool and normal. The graphic designer was posting on Instagram about how the Bro podcast got it wrong about his glyph.
Can you say his name? Let's say his name. Let's check out his. Let's go. Why don't we do a portfolio review right now and just kind of see what he's working with?
Oh no, I don't want it.
People need to get a grip. That's obviously a joke. Who cares? Graphic designers are some of the most pussy people on earth. It blows my mind.
That I will agree with you on. Graphic designers.
Nothing is original. You're not blowing anybody's mind. It's good or bad. That's it. Everybody's got to calm down.
Yeah. What did he say? All press is bad press. Design got roasted on this Bro podcast. If only they knew about contextual alternating glyphs.
Oh my God. You know why I don't do that? Because I have a life. What is this guy's fucking... Say his name. Because I want to... You can bleep it out.
His name is...
Bro, get the fuck out of here. You think I'm going to... If you got 4 names, I don't care where you got the font from. That's just what it... If you got 4 names and you're not a Vaughn, if you're not a Count, if you're not a Duke, you need to take one of those out, Chief. Because working on Figma ain't the same as royalty. That's crazy.
He did design a beautiful Zatar label for an up-and-coming Lebanese inspired.
Oh, I'm sure he's done some awesome DTC packaging.
Yeah, I mean, you guys...
Zatar.
You can't be coming in with 4 names like that.
Send me the link. No, send me the link. I want to. We're gonna go through. I'm gonna look at it right now. Let me get eyes on it. That's all.
CB said I got the time today. All right, hold on.
I can't do it with these. I can't do it with these fucking nerds. Like once again, that was a pretty harmless graphic design joke. Wouldn't you agree?
I think that people don't know how to handle the criticism, and they know that it's cool that we're talking about it, and they know that all press is good press. But they don't know how to really frame it or admit it, so it's more of just like
this guy's name. This guy's name is honestly fucking crazy. Fucking look at this guy. This guy. I give this guy a fucking noogie. Fuck out of here, you dork. Oh my God. Oh, this makes me mad. This actually makes me mad. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad that it makes me angry.
This is turning me into a Jake Tapper style flip flopper. You know what? Fuck these liberal bitches.
No, I'm just like, this for a guy like
these left wing graphic designer.
Well, I know this guy doesn't have. I can look at him and tell he doesn't have a sense of humor. So that is beyond. And his, I wouldn't say all of his work is bad. There's some decent stuff in here. Maybe some of it was done on spec, maybe, but still, it's nice to see. Jesus Christ, I mean. If I appreciate the work went into it, that you scanned it in and you used your glyphs, and I hope that all graphic designers are proud of you for that. I hope that the community supports you and your scanning abilities.
That's good stuff. That's very good stuff.
Well, you know what else I was going to bring up to you? See what you thought about it. We were talking about bars.
Mm-hmm.
There was a
bars,
a space that had been vacant on Spring Street for a very long time. And I walked by it yesterday, and it was, bustling. And then I realized that it's the new Gammon bar that has opened on Spring Street. So think of it like an ALD store, but full of people drinking matcha and playing backgammon.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I remember like 3 years ago, backgammon on the boat in Lake Como was like, quote unquote, a vibe for a summer, right?
Yes,
remember that
for sure.
And I'm sure some predatory fellas will bring the backgammon to El Prado or whatever and post up. But to open a bar that does that specifically at this point, especially in New York, cultural capital of planet Earth. It just feels a little too slow moving.
Well, you know how tough it is to get financing for a backgammon bar. So they probably started.
So what's so just give me. I don't have time for the deck. Just give me the elevator pitch.
Just give me.
It's a backgammon matcha bar.
You're saying,
and this is not like the rehearsal style like mockumentary. This is a real thing that you want to do. Oh, okay.
You need 1.5 million. You say, huh? Well,
this is not a Nathan for You skit. It's not okay.
That is, yeah. But I
and somebody actually, speaking of that, somebody was sending me. There's a Matcha Rave that's happening.
Okay.
I don't know where.
Can I get tickets on Resident Advisor, or do I have to go through Dice?
You know what? I just found out that the Matcha Rave is actually owned by IDF supporting VCs, so it has been removed from Resident Advisor.
Where is the Matcha Rave actually? It has to be in LA.
No, wait, hold on, let me see.
LA or Japan?
It's in Dubai.
Oh,
the Matcha Rave is a trendy, alcohol-free alternative to traditional raves, often featuring DJs dancing and, most importantly, matcha drinks. So, I mean,
if anyone from the Matcha Rave Corporation is listening, please book them jeans to DJ. I will fly myself there, and I think that this will be fun for the whole family. This is a crazy. Because I guess that's like sober. It's the same thing as like the sober rave trend.
Yeah,
it's not that different.
I see an image on Google that says it's 7 p.m. on a Saturday, and you're at a matcha rave in Dubai. And then there's another one, OMG, first viral matcha rave in Tampa. Wait.
Oh shit!
If you would have believed it, it is related to the church. So we cannot call. See, this is. I'm about to put my boomer hat on right now. This is not a rave. A bunch of people hanging out in a strip mall church that has. I gotta send you this video. It's fucking me up too bad.
So all right, so you're saying we hit the strip mall church.
Okay, it's like 4 p.m. and it's a bunch of uggos drinking matcha. There's a DJ who's doing his first DJ set. There's the homie's new hand roll startup company.
This looks. But once now that I'm watching this video,
and this is in Tampa.
This looks so Christian. I can't believe how Christian it looks.
Yeah. So basically, in the same way that racist people have turned the word woke into meaning that you're a fag, instead of meaning that you think the government is doing bad stuff, Christian people have taken the word rave, which is a place where you go to do whatever the opposite of church is. I mean, whatever the opposite of Christianity is, or,
Yeah, definitely.
You are. I've had more religious experiences at a rave on drugs with Tiesto dropping some epic sets than, having a guy ask me if I want to donate money to a $1 billion tax-free company or whatever. So this is not a rave, and we need to fight back. Christian people should not be allowed to throw their own raves. They should have to go to a downtown warehouse where my friend Caesar, hits a button and blood comes down from the ceiling, like on Blade 2. They should have to watch forced BDSM in a dungeon. They should have to listen to jungle and drum and bass. They should not be listening to these
that's
Miley
that's
Cyrus Flowers tech house remix or whatever these fucking losers
I'm
are
not going to
listening
let you attack. I'm not going to let you attack the music because I clicked through on the matcha provider, and it's called Mustaches and Matchas, and the bio is we have mustaches and love matcha, and it's two guys with mustaches just drinking matcha in their car. This is crazy.
Okay, I'm watching another video that says POV, you threw a rave in a matcha shop on a Sunday. And I think what this is these are a bunch of people who are too afraid to do drugs and fuck and be cool. And they see videos of people who they see a video of Skrillex or Fred again or any of these people playing a party, and then they stand up on the DJ set, on the DJ booth, so everyone can look at their body. It's the male equivalent of holding your foot up in a mirror selfie, so they could see that you got the Ricks on or whatever it is. It's only for content. This is all a fabricated thing, so we can film it, and maybe we'll go viral on TikTok. I couldn't hate any of the. I guess is alcohol. It's not really legal in Dubai, right?
Well, no, it makes sense to do this in Dubai.
In Dubai, I give it a pass in Dubai.
Yeah, I give it a pass in the Middle East.
Because if you drink alcohol or do drugs, you will be stoned to death. So that's fine. Have your matcha. But
Tampa.
This is what I really want. Tampa, bro.
Dude, if you have to drink to be in Tampa, that's I think there's no other way to survive there. What choice do you have?
In Tampa, they're like matcha. I mean, the lizards won't even eat that, brother. So this is what I propose. We need to start throwing whatever the mosaic, matcha rave is happening. We need to find out where it is. And the same way, the guys will go to wherever the event is, and they'll hold up the signs that say "God hates."
Oh yeah.
All that stuff. We do the same thing. We throw a kratom rave. We throw a kratom rave. It's a bunch of people who are like, we're not here to dance. We don't even have TikToks because our phone doesn't have the ability to have
that application on it.
And it's a bunch of people who are like, we are only here to break into the cars of the people that went to the Matcha Rave. We like music, but it's a different kind of music. It's psytrance.
We like music, but it's a different kind of music.
It's a different kind of music that is not fun.
Hey, look, we like music.
What we do, we scare the hosts. My goal in life is scaring the hosts, and I want the Kratom Rave to set up. Sharks, I'm looking for $400,000 seed money.
I'm sure if you spoke
to start a Kratom Rave.
I'm sure if you spoke to the Backgammon fellas, they could hook you up with some financing. I'm sure those guys are super liquid right now.
TJ, this is a bad idea, but I like your energy. You're just like, I think you'll fit in on the team.
You're a crazy founder, bro, and I respect it. Like, your outlook is crazy. You have to be maniacal.
I'm willing to lose $400K on you. Just that's how much. That's how much I think you're such a legend.
I wanted to talk about the because the Knicks finally lost last night, so it's over.
Knicks in 7.
We were talking about
shout out to our Indiana homies, Tinker Coffee, all of our listeners in Indianapolis. I mean, the better team won. I'm sorry, Eddie Wong.
I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is a herb, and they all are dorks, but they did win.
But it's the NBA in 2025. The cool people are few and far between.
The only thing I did watch the series, and obviously Timothy Chalamet was at every game in head to toe custom Knicks colors, chrome hearts, and no shot at the Knicks. They're fun to watch, but those are the ugliest colors maybe possible besides Lakers colors.
Orange and blue.
Orange and blue together, and yellow, gold and purple together. That's just ugly. It's strictly ugly.
But scientifically speaking, those colors from a branding perspective, not to get graphic designery on it, but those are colors that are sort of scientifically proven to contrast with each other and catch the eye more than almost any other thing.
Okay,
That's
all
why
right.
that's why a lot of
Okay,
sports
all right,
teams
all right.
have those, Chicago Bears, Knicks. not to put my 5-panel snapback on.
But no, that makes no. Of course, I mean those are.
But yeah, I mean I agree. But I would rather have those kind of dumb orange color, blue color class versus like the modern reinterpretation of it, where everything is either black or white because black jerseys will sell more than blue jerseys or whatever.
Yeah. No,
I just
sure.
miss those days where the Celtics jersey was a bright, ugly green, and you wore it with pride. Not like a black jersey that has an element of green on it.
Sorry, I didn't know you were such a Dropkick Murphys guy. My question though, and I'm sure somebody out there is going to answer it for me, is who do you think was sharing a private? Because these Timothy Chalamet and Ben Stiller and Spike Lee are not spending the night at the fucking Hilton in Indianapolis. They're taking a private plane from New York to Indiana. The game is over. They go right back to the plane. They like imagine Kylie Jenner going to get a matcha in the morning in Indianapolis. It's not happening. So who do you think is paying for the jet? Are they flying together? Is it I got this one, you get the next one?
Oh.
Or do you think because I don't think Ben Stiller strikes me as a private jet guy. Timmy and Kylie are definitely private jet people, and Spike Lee is probably a private jet person as well.
I don't know. I mean, Spike is doing well. I think his partner is a lot more successful than he is. I don't know if Spike got bands like that in 2025.
Well, it doesn't mean if he's got it or not. It's how he wants to spend it. But yes, I mean, you're right. I mean,
that's a good question, and I feel like Ben. Does Ben live in New York though?
Ben Stiller, yeah, no, Ben Stiller's a New Yorker.
I would like to imagine it's Ben's 53-year-old wife, Timmy, and Kylie just sitting across from each other like a weird double date on the PJ.
I would like that too.
But also respect and hats off to Timmy's pimp game, getting Kylie out to Indiana on a Saturday night. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here with us.
That twink dick is crazy if you get her to go to Indianapolis.
He's laying it down from the bike.
That's crazy.
That's
honestly though, you're right.
He's doing the horizontal Dougie in a way that
she wasn't going to any LA Kings games with Tyga, but she's willing to get on the plane. She's willing to get on the plane with Timmy to go to Indianapolis, which is a fine city. I have no issue with it, but that is not a place for you to expect to find a Jenner.
No. Unless there's some type of court date for a ticket or something like that, there's no real reason for them to go out there.
Yeah, they pulled me over. They pulled me over in the Phantom when I was driving from New York to LA in Indianapolis. I got to go back for a court date.
I got popped. Yeah.
No, they searched. I was clean. But
Travis told me to put this fucking jar of cookies in my trunk, and now I got a court date, and it's a whole thing.
Got a court date.
I'm not going to see any time, but it's been a real bee in my bonnet.
There's a picture of Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez leaving a restaurant last night, and there's speculation that she is pregnant.
Taylor.
And if that is true, I think we are in for some of the worst press we've ever lived through as a society.
Okay, what do you think this press is going to be focused on?
I just mean the coverage. I mean, just the breathless coverage of her. If you thought it was bad now, just imagine what it's going to be like if she's pregnant.
Sure. And do you think that looking at these photos, do you think she's pregnant? Because I saw some photos of them last week leaving, I don't know, maybe I'm going to guess Corner Bar. Something, there's just something about a person when they're pregnant, not necessarily like obviously if somebody is pregnant, they have a large stomach where the baby is being brewed up, where the baby barista is being brewed up. But there are others kind of like spiritual, cosmic, like the aura of somebody changes, and also their arms get fatter. But
I don't think Taylor Swift doesn't have an aura. She has a black hole. I don't think anything's gonna radiate.
She has a blank space, first of all, and the blank space has been filled with the embryo of a warthog of a man.
He really did look like a warthog.
Bro, look like a warthog. The warthog explosion head memoji.
Yes.
He looks like that. When when Taylor told him, "I'm pregnant," that's what he looked like. He said, "Ooh."
But I know what you mean. But I also think she could just be
But I'm saying
off
now,
the road.
if someone's like, "Oh, you're glowing," and you're saying she's sort of like a witch from south of heaven who's sort of been orbiting planet Earth as some type of satanic being.
No.
And now, well, I'm saying that, and now, for the first time in her life, she has a glow about her because, I mean, this feels very biblical or like Greek mythology. Some type of evil person has been impregnated by a mortal walking man of the earth, and now a human life and soul is inside of her body, and for the first time ever, she has life in her cheeks since before she signed with Big Machine.
I mean,
that was the last time she had the glow.
It could also just be she stopped, doing 3-hour shows every night for 3 years, and I think that your body definitely needs a break after that. That is extreme levels of exercise and
sure.
It's also possible she's just like, I gotta chill for 6 months,
which is cool. I mean, it could
Agreed.
just be bulking season. It's just simply bulking season. She's like, is it illegal for the most wealthy, powerful woman in the world to enjoy a carbonara
exactly
5 days a week?
It's not, and more power to her if that's the case. I don't know if I don't know if this is this procreation is going to be can you imagine like what that kid is going to be like?
What do you think the last name is going to be?
Oh, she's it's definitely going to be Kelsey. She's a trad. She ain't with all this new shit for sure.
So you don't think it's going to be Swift Kelsey?
I mean, if I was the kid, I would want it to be Swift Kelsey to let him know.
Swift Kelsey sounds like a band that's opening for Yellow Card in 2008.
We just signed to Fuel by Ramen. It's really sick. We're doing super well. See you on Warped
We
Tour.
got to split with Swift Kelsey. Honestly, they suck, but whatever.
Kelsey, it really does sound like that. Oh shit.
Okay, so you're saying Taylor, she's an American woman at the end of the day. She has traditional
American
values.
Woman. Yeah.
She's going to name this kid Kelsey. What if the first name's Kelsey?
Kelsey. I was just thinking that.
Kelsey.
No, she's going to come through with the bad Southern name. I think her roots are going to show.
But like Aiden Kelsey?
Yes.
That's a wild name.
Aiden Swift Kelsey? That you're destined for fame.
Aiden Kelsey sounds like like an affordable white wine that I'm going to buy at Kroger.
Aiden Kelsey. It's not out of the question though. I would be shocked if she ripped a name from the Bible.
Okay, well, I guess speaking of biblical things, on the term or on the topic of the rules of three, if Taylor Swift bought all of her songs back again just in time for her pregnancy, Hailey Bieber sold her makeup line for $1 billion just in time for her divorce. Following the rule of three, what is next, do you think? And I think it's going to involve Timmy and Kylie.
I don't believe in stuff like this.
You don't believe in the prophecy?
I don't believe in the prophecy, but I wonder. You might be right. There could be something brewing. He's on too big of a run right now to fuck up.
Who is?
Timmy.
I'm not saying that necessarily any of these things are fucking up. Like Hailey Bieber selling her makeup line for $1 billion and divorcing her drug addict baby daddy could be argued that is the opposite of fucking up.
That's not fucking up. I thought you're supposed to do it the other way. Get divorced and then sell it. It doesn't make sense.
That's what I thought as well.
It doesn't make sense to sell it before and then have all of that money and him have. I mean, you saw Offset. He's trying to get alimony. It's crazy. As a man trying to get alimony.
Offset. That's how you know Offset. He ain't shit.
Cardi B's got 100 million. He's got 30. So I guess it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and I saw that movie where Cardi B was drugging finance bros and stealing their money.
A little too realistic.
Offset said. He needs his pound of flesh back. But what do you know? Like, why Taylor? She sold her and then bought back and sold. Like, so she finally owns all of her masters. So that means she must have bought them back from the VC fund
that got it from Scooter.
Got it from Scooter.
So
do you think the VC fund? It was a good faith deal where they got it back to her? Just even Stevens, or do you think
no?
they bent her over a barrel.
Bro, I'm taxing the fuck. If Taylor Swift comes to me and wants what I have, I'm taxing her ass. Like that, that's business. Like that's my whole thing with the Masters thing. It's a bad situation, but it's also one she put herself in with a giant team of lawyers and managers.
Yeah.
Like this is not like everybody wants their Masters back. That's a known thing. Of
course.
I totally understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And there should be some, rules in place for some of that stuff, but like she's made this her like personality because it's like her versus them, and it's just sort of like at a certain point that's how the world works. I don't know, it's business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she's just as cutthroat as they are.
Do you think that the VC that bought the Masters from Scooter knew that they were going to sit on it, much like a property in the Palisades or whatever, or maybe not the Palisades, but we're gonna buy this shit, we're gonna just sit on it for 2 years, maybe we'll rent it out on it, we'll do it, license a couple things out for The Handmaid's Tale, we'll rent it out to a couple wealthy couples for 6 months, all knowing that in 3 years we're just waiting for the market to balloon and sell it right back to them for a big profit.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only reason to buy it.
Well, I mean, the main, I was under the assumption the main reason people buy and sell their Masters is like, hey, it's just like when you win the lottery, it's like, do you want the lump sum now or do you want little installments? Basically saying, we'll give you $200 million now, in one lump sum, or you could spend the rest of your life piecemealing it out, doing these licensing deals for film, TV commercials. You could potentially make double or triple that over the course of your life. It'll involve a lot of work. Or if you want to just get it, that's quick and easy, 200 mil, boom, boom, boom. So is Taylor ever going to plan to do something with these Masters? Because she doesn't really lend her music out for a whole lot of. She's not like whoring herself out for commercials.
But that's her whole thing. It's not about that. It's about like respect or something. It's like it's for a greater good.
Right. It's just right that I should own my Masters as the person who has created this music.
Yeah, which there is some truth to that, but I also think when you're playing at that level, you just gotta make different decisions.
Yeah, it's just like an interesting thing because you would assume that they would want to tax Taylor's ass to get the Masters back after they've spent so much money buying them in the first place, but in just going back to in terms of Taylor being an evil being that roams the earth among us, is there something else in play? Is there a weird blackmail thing? Is there, some other chess piece? Are there some other backgammon
This is a
pieces
straight up
moving around? It's just a money deal only. Money.
Yeah, and it's also like it's like a faceless VC. You know what I mean? It's not the narrative changes when it's a faceless VC and not like this big bad music business guy.
But I'm, I guess maybe not so much like it's still involving capitalism and money and deals, but not necessarily just a A-B combo or just like a this, if this, then that. If it's like, okay, I will buy my Masters back for this much, but that means that down the line I'm going to get this, I'll get a Super Bowl in 2030 and I'm going to get paid this much for that and this and that, like some bigger puppet strings being pulled, you know what I mean?
I wish it was that.
I have my conspiratorial
your conspiracy
hat
brain, but I think some white guys in puffy vests were like, all right, it's time, let's tax this bitch. And she's been trying. I'm sure she's been trying to get it forever. So it's like I just
her Masters have been off the market for a few years now, and they have just been.
It's actually really crazy how she's made this her like. She acts like she's like fighting for the poor. Like she acts like this cause is like affects anyone but her, or she's like setting some precedent. It's like that's not a precedent would have to be set from a much larger swath of people, even though you're one of the biggest artists in the world. I just don't think this is about you and you only and your power and your money, and making about anything else is just a lie.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of interesting when it's like, hey, we're the little man. We took on the big corporations and we won. And when you see that happen, beautiful story, great, awesome. But when you are bigger than the corporation that you took on and defeated,
it doesn't work
in every way. You have more employees, you have more people on your payroll, you have more money in the bank than the big corporate companies, then what does that mean at that
No,
point?
it's not. It's not a David and Goliath.
Swift Holdings LLC. Yeah, it's not a David and Goliath.
It's not a David
Goliath
and Goliath. Yeah, and that's why. But I mean, I think her fans are. She's got one of those fan bases that will literally. She could commit murder and like on video, and they would say she's not guilty. Mm-hmm. So it's not.
He deserved it.
Yeah, it's not super reasonable in any way you cut the cake.
I heard speaking of conspiracy, I will tell you this and we'll move on. I heard a conspiracy that the reason why Taylor started dating a football player was so whenever you Google Taylor Swift and Jets, it comes up Jets the football team and not her awful emissions.
Dude, I see if that is true, that I absolutely tip my that is unbelievable. That is
I know, right?
Genius. And I would love.
And I heard that one, and then I heard that Disney made a movie called Frozen. So when you Google Disney Frozen, that movie comes up instead of the fact that Walt Disney has his head cryogenically frozen in hopes of being in hopes that kombucha SCOBY gets reanimated.
That's really good. I mean, I heard
both are good.
In a similar story, I heard that when Julia Fox's book came out, there was like an audiobook version, obviously, and then she did that song with Charlie, and so people were searching on Spotify, but the audiobook would come up first, and it ended up doing insane numbers because people were searching her so much.
That's just good and smart. And also I've heard from many people that the audiobook is the only way to consume her memoir because
she's reading it, right?
She's reading it, she's going off on tangents and asides and telling side stories and saying it in her, raspy twang, and it's much more enjoyable that way.
It's suited for that.
Which is an interesting thing. I feel like a lot of people are going to, now that anyone can just record an audiobook, what is an audiobook if not just a person talking for 8 hours on Spotify? You know what I mean?
No, that's always what it's been. It was just audible.
I've definitely had like edible shower thoughts of like, oh, now like after listening to all these memoirs in audiobook form versus reading them, just because I prefer consuming them that way, because people will add color and tell little side stories and things like that. I feel like we're going to be on the cusp of people just self-releasing the audiobook of their memoir or whatever their book is, and it can, anyone can have it on Spotify or all the other places you consume audio, Audible and all that stuff. And then if your audiobook does well, then maybe you'll get a book deal, and then you could have it be a physical book.
I don't know if we'll ever get there, but I
guarantee we're going to get there. Why? Because
no one's going to record it. If you I guess I don't see how this becomes popular. I guess unless you're like famous already. But if some guy, no-name guy, records an 8-hour podcast and calls it an audiobook, I don't know if HarperCollins is beating down the doors.
Well, I guess it's more so like it's the barrier of entry for creating an audiobook is so much easier than a paperback book. You can obviously self-publish on Amazon and make these books, and you have to spend a bunch of money and buy, thousands of copies, and they come out kind of shitty, and people see the self-published book and you look at it versus the McNally Jackson edition and you're like, oh, one of these is not like the other. But with an audiobook,
yeah, that's true. They're equal.
It's my laptop. This microphone costs $89 on Amazon, and I'm able to record an audiobook in my closet. The same way when Fruity Loops came out and Soulja Boy is making billions of dollars from his bedroom and self-publishing, self-releasing, self-making, video making, all that stuff. I like the idea of putting out your audiobook, it blowing up, and then getting a book deal off of your book.
Are audiobooks actually that popular though?
They are huge. Friend of the show, Matt Rodbard, the publisher he works at, he's like, a lot of the business is moving towards audiobook because it's just...
No, it makes sense.
Our attention spans are fucked. We're doing passive listening. How many hours does it take to sit down and read a book quietly in your chair versus I'm on the train, I'm on the dog walk, I'm doing the dishes, I'm reorganizing my closet, I'm on the treadmill, and you're knocking out 300-page books in a weekend.
At least for me, I don't think I process the information the same if I'm listening to it. It feels much less important to pay attention to if I'm listening to it because of podcasting.
I agree with you, but I also would argue that we're living in a post-absorption world.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this is a personal preference. Like, I'm never going to listen to an audiobook because I just don't care. And, like, I don't commute. I don't have any, you know what I mean? I don't even have
And also in a world where the publishers are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in upfront costs, publishing, marketing advances, only to have the success rate of them be 5%, ever make their money back, maybe less than that.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
So the production costs of an audiobook sit around, on a professional level, let's call it $1,000.
But what I'm saying is it's not you have to call it something else. Because if there's no book, it's not a book, it's a podcast, is what I'm trying to say. If the book isn't published, then it can't be an audiobook.
That's where you're wrong. These are all semantics. This is why what we're doing right now, in my mind, is a podcast. And what Theo Vaughn is doing on YouTube is a podcast. And what Call Her Daddy is doing is a podcast, even though I don't think it's a podcast. The Chicken Shop is a podcast. It's all a podcast. Adam Faze, he will talk about how, like, if it looks like a TV show, let's call it a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, we can cut any corners we want to and lie to ourselves, but like that's not really. There's truth
it's an
and
argument
facts.
of semantics, but like,
I mean, I think
if I publish an 8-hour audio file of me talking about my life and sharing stories about my childhood, it's 8 hours long, and I upload it to Spotify, and you click on the tab that says audiobooks and search my name.
I mean,
it's an audiobook, right?
You could look at it that way, but
I can go on Apple Podcasts, create a podcast where I'm playing guitar for an hour, and that's a podcast, even though technically that's music or a song.
I mean, I also don't know if you can. I feel like the technology doesn't exist for someone to upload an audiobook independently.
Oh,
maybe
that's
it does.
where you're wrong, brother.
Does it? I mean, is there like a TuneCore for audiobooks?
Yeah. Let me see here.
I mean, I guess everybody, yeah. I mean, I guess if you can self-publish a pamphlet about your life, then why would you not be able to post an 8-hour podcast and call it a book?
You can upload it yourself to Amazon, Audible, iTunes, and then you could choose your rights and how much percentage, like you can get exclusive royalties versus non-exclusive.
Well, the thing about this is that the whole thing is it's very, very, very unlikely that somebody would release an independent audiobook and that it would become a hit with no market, without the power of some marketing somewhere.
That is true.
Like you can't, like you're not just gonna. It's the same thing with a song. It's not like you're gonna. The chances of it being a viral TikTok hit when you upload it from TuneCore are very, very low. Of course, it could happen.
Yeah,
you're doing it for the love of the game at that point. Is what I think.
I mean, the chances are obviously low, and the chances of you having success as a published author by a real publishing house, or getting a hit record, even if you get signed to a record label, the chances have always been needle in a haystack, 1 in a million. But just before there was that wall where you cannot get through, and now because of technology,
well, as always,
the wall is gone.
As we always say, build that wall. That's what we always say here on How Long Gone. So that's
but I just, as somebody like me who has created thousands of hours of podcasts, which is just me talking about my life, I've already written volumes and volumes of audiobooks and memoirs and stories and everything.
You can't write an audiobook. That's what I'm trying to. That's my whole point.
That's where you're wrong.
You're speaking it. You're speaking it.
I'm speaking it, and then I can click a button, and it turns it into a beautiful, beautiful text that I can then send to a company, and now it's a book that you can read.
No, sure, but it's just.
All I'm saying is, it's very hard to write a book, but if I reverse engineer it, I've already written several.
I mean, I appreciate you finding any way to boost your ego, but I don't really think that's how it works.
That's not an ego boost. That's me admitting that I will have a very hard time writing a book if it ever happens. you're doing the same thing. I believe in you. You're gonna write your book.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do it. I don't really have a choice, but
it is hard.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
a
a hard
nightmare.
thing to do, and most people cannot do it.
Well, most people shouldn't do it, me included. Like, that's the thing. I mean, it's like anything else. Most people
Don't say that.
most things I do I shouldn't do because I'm not that good at them. But that if I have the opportunity, I'm going to do it. But at least I'm being encouraged by an outside factor. You know, so like that is part of the like. I don't know if I had no encouragement from anywhere in my life. I don't know if I
didn't have your team. Nothing.
Yeah, if I didn't have my team. Shout out to my team. I don't think
without your team, you'd just be writing Rage Against the Mullet articles all day.
Exactly. I don't have any more. I haven't gotten death threats for that yet, but I'm sure I will.
Yeah, that was our podcast is done, but that was crazy reading the comment section of the Instagram
people
post
just
from
love
GQ,
people.
and I was like, wait, all you guys like this?
One thing about that I forget is that everyone is so stupid, and you have to, and everyone has the worst taste, and I have to remind myself that when it's something that is objectively bad is embraced by the greater society. You know, you have to remember that it's
and I have to forget that a magazine or a publication called Gentleman's Quarterly is being populated by many slack-jawed yokels. No offense, but that's just the cost of becoming a very successful media outlet.
That's the only way to make money.
We have to figure out how to diversify and please everyone.
How long gone? There is tickets are on sale for our shows in Chicago, DC, Toronto,
St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul right now on our website.
We're going to be in LA at EatsCon, which is the weekend of June 28th and 29th. We're going to be in conversation with Kate Berlant and, come through for that. I'm DJing some private events next week. You guys are not invited. Very sad. But I think, this summer, like we were saying before, more and more things will be popping up. Some live shows, some more festivals are coming around the corner, but Levitation Fest in Austin, Texas in September. Really good lineup. A lot of classic 90s legends on there. And then, maybe we'll be coming back to Chicago for a couple more things this summer as well.
Can't wait. Did you hear the new Alex G song?
Not yet. You like it?
It's mandolin led. And it really gives some REM. I was talking to Kevin Morby about it. I was like, the mandolin, I had to ask him, I was like, that's a mandolin, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, we need that to come back. That and pedal steel together, we're going to get some real music.
Damn, okay. We're on some twee shit. It's a twee summer.
Yeah, it's twee summer.
Twee boy
bitch.
summer. Come fuck with the kid. All right. HowLongGone.com,
right.
like Chris said, come see us this summer, and we have some crazy pods this week, actually.
I think he's going to have to reschedule.
Okay.
So.
I was going to say we're not defeating the woke liberal accusations with that guest.
No, we're not.
Okay. Have a blessed week, y'all. We love you. See you later.